Just really admire them. Yes, they're singing. Ching, ching, ching. Seafood mama. The 10 fat chicken. And ask you for one. And she won't give me one. You see that girl named Dorothy. She fat like a butter. And she mama like a chow. Oh, small days is still on my mind. Small days is a good time. Never had so little children. I'm gonna sing and dance and really admire them. What they're singing? On your carpet, you must be like the roses, all you need, bright and shining. You must be, and show me the one. Love the best. When I marry, I give you the ring. First the girls, second the boys. Sunday, Monday, afternoon, we will spend our honeymoon. Oh, small days is still on my mind. Small days is a good time. Never had some little children. I'm gonna sing and dance and really admire them. Join the singing. Old man house on fire. The old man ran away. He ran for the police to get the water. The only fire down there. Escalated, shoot, shoot, shoot. Escalated, shoot, shoot.
Go, John. Go on, John. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to our program this evening. My name is Patrick Mentor. I am the Vice Chair of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited. With me this evening is Dr. John Anderson, committee member on the Committee of Management. We are here this evening to keep you informed and abreast of all that has been happening, or most of what has been happening at the credit union. One of the things I would like to speak on is our plans for our members, our general members. You will have heard about all our products, the loan products, etc. So I don't know that they would bear repeating at this stage. What we can say is that what we are doing in alignment with those products is that we are attempting as far as practicable to focus on the professional development of the employees. We are looking at emphasizing the whole concept of volunteerism as far as our general membership goes. And in that regard, we hope that our members would be satisfied in the truest sense of the word. To that end, one of the things that we are ensuring that we introduce is the whole question of succession planning. Now, nobody is in any place forever. As they say, the only thing constant is change. And therefore, one of our objectives is to ensure that we have persons who can step up and fill positions, were these positions to go vacant by reason of vacation leave, resignations, terminations, dismissals, what have you. And therefore, we have ensured that we introduce into the minds of of the employees at least, the whole question of succession planning. We also intend, if we are to see ourselves in the future as a flagship credit union in Guyana, we must ensure that we have strategic thinking in every aspect of our operations. We must introduce and maintain and sustain strategic thinking. In that regard, we are looking at ensuring that all our managers and our employees are on board with the vision and mission of the credit union when we ask them to think of what we could do to broaden the reach, to broaden the reach in terms of membership, in terms of services, in terms of even products. What we can do to ensure that we maintain that flagship status that we seek to attain. I spoke of volunteerism just now. And one important thing that we must understand is that once people are inclined to volunteer, and they're inclined to volunteer their skills, whatever they have that can promote the forward movement of our credit union, we welcome them, because it is only by having, I should say, intimate knowledge of what GPSCCU is all about that you can really say that you can make a difference. Dr. Anderson, you like to jump in there?
Hi, Mr. Mentor, and a good night to you. We have begun a journey as the new committee of management. And as you rightfully said, anyone, including us, who seeks to make a difference within the context of the credit union ought to at least begin that process of seeking to learn as much about our credit union and credit unions in general, so that we can be more impactful, so that we can come from a position of knowledge and utilizing the experience of other credit unions. As you know, Mr. Mentor, I traveled to Montserrat a few months ago before becoming a member of the credit union's management committee. And there I saw the Montserrat Credit Union, and it's a tiny island, as you know. And we were able to look at how they have diversified their services. And it's important for us to learn from everyone, take from every area that we can take, so that we can improve our credit union. And along that very line, we have begun some changes within the very structure and organization of the credit union to make it run more efficiently. That's something we were discussing only recently. You want to elaborate on that, Mr. Mentor?
Oh, certainly, John. You see, when people think credit union, I think there is not that wider appreciation of what credit unionism is all about. The credit union, as we know, it is there for, at least the GPSCCU, is there at the seen as being the small man's bank. Be that as it may, in terms of
Definitely.
the ethos of the credit union, the ethos is one where we seek to understand people's needs, and we seek in that regard to meet those needs. And therefore, if we find that the structure and the incumbents within the structure are not necessarily in tune with what our members' needs are, we have to do those adjustments to ensure that we stay on track and that we are not derailed, and the forward movement is not stymied by any form of resistance or intransigence, right? So those are the things that we've got to understand. Those are some necessary interventions if we are to really push forward.
Mr. Mentor, along that pathway, you would notice that in any organization, whenever there is change, whenever there is um, attempts to fine tune and to make more efficient, there is also the need to have a mind that is very broad and elastic to accommodate the changes that are necessary. And in this case, as we embark on making the credit union more efficient, some changes can sometimes appear uncomfortable.
Definitely, John.
And
Definitely,
a friend of
definitely.
mine told me years ago. Let me just complete this before you come in there, Mr. Mentor. A friend of mine told me years ago. He said the only thing constant is change, and we have seen that.
Yep. Um, one of the another thing that
You were going
is of
to
interest.
elaborate on.
Another thing that is of interest, John, is that in recent times, within the past 3 months, I've noticed an upliftment, if you will, in the morale of the employees at the credit union. I have noticed that the relationship between the employees and the general membership, that relationship has significantly improved. Um, what do I mean by that? We do not have the level of complaints that we will have had 2 months ago or 3 months ago from the members about the way they felt um, they were being their affairs are being dealt with at the credit union. So what we have found now, if I may be so bold as to say, is that our members are now and our employees are overwhelmingly supportive. They are more informed, they are more invested, and they are more involved in what is going on. I'll say this, and I say this without any fear of serious contradiction, that the members of this committee of management have not placed themselves aloof and above the membership. If it's one thing that I have observed, and I'm sure this observation is shared, is that every member of this committee of management, I should say every member of the committee of management, is involved. I know that they are responsive to queries, to questions, to concerns, to suggestions made by the membership. They are also receptive to ideas from within the staff, the employees, right? And therefore, I think that in and of itself is an encouraging development. If you have any thoughts on that.
Definitely, Mr. Mentor. I should say, Mr. Vice Chair. We as a committee of management have committed ourselves to exploring the needs of our members and doing everything that is prudent and humanly possible to see how we can meet those needs. But as you talked about meet and greet in the earlies, where everyone was able to share their thoughts and ideas, and in fact, a sort of an introduction of themselves again, a reintroduction in some cases to the entire staff complement, and we saw how happy the staff were. And of course, no meeting is complete without something to stimulate your taste buds, and so we had all of that, and we saw how the staff morale was so infused with a new energy, and we're happy about that.
Yep. Yep.
We're happy about that.
As a
But
matter
not
of
only.
fact, what? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Mr. Mentor, you go ahead, please. Thank you so much.
No, you didn't. You didn't finish making your point. I'm sorry to have interrupted
No,
you.
I would have expanded the discussion, but I want you to complete that thought, and then we will go beyond the scope of what we have discussed so far.
Right. Just to expand a bit on what you said there just now. What we are doing also is, as against the practice of years of committee members going on vacation, going on trips overseas, ostensibly to conferences. What we are doing, we are trying to encourage, as far as practicable, our employees and our committee members to participate on online capacity development programs. That, to my mind, it's a fact. It's more cost effective, and you are more able to hand back, to share the knowledge that you've gained. Because I'll tell you what, and maybe it is not for this credit union alone, but I've had the experience of people going on conferences, and when they return, nothing is passed on, and therefore one has to question oneself as to what was the purpose of people going to a conference or to a training program. And I, for one, and do permit me to beat my drum, I, for one, have been very insistent that there be an end of conference or end of training or end of whatever, as long as the credit union, the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, expended monies on persons' conference trips or training sessions or what have you, anything that was in the initial instance intended to benefit the credit union, there must be a report. There must be some form of knowledge management, which ensures that the knowledge that was acquired at these events, that knowledge is shared, that knowledge is retained, so that it can be retrieved as needed. And I am very strong on that, and I know we all are, with respect to using knowledge acquired for the development of the credit union and for the ultimate satisfaction of our members. John? John, you seem to have gone off there. Anyway, I was talking there about online programs, and two recently came across. Yeah. You seem to have gone off there just now, John.
Yes, I have the best network giving me internet, but tonight seems to be a particularly challenging one. But we press on. So, so you know, I don't want to break the flow of your thought. If you want to complete that thought, that's fine, and then I'll say what I have in mind.
Okay. We were talking there about the online participation that we're encouraging. We're trying to foster that mindset across the board among our members in the committee, among our general membership, and among the employees, so that they would take the fullest advantage of all these online programs that are oriented to credit union development, that they would take fullest advantage of those. In that regard, I'd like to mention two that recently passed across my desk, and they are branch management certification program, which is an online program by CCCU, and it is one that our regional representatives could be a part of, because they are expected to manage the affairs of the credit union within the regions, and therefore that is something that I saw it, and it might be something that we can explore in terms of the participation. And the other one was critical thinking and audit report writing. We know from traditionally, when you hear about audits, people get nervous in their ears, I mean, you get gray hairs, etc. But I think that that comes from fear of the unknown. And with regard to that particular course that I refer to, critical thinking and report writing, it is something that might be beneficial for our employees, the managers, and to an extent, committee members, so that everyone understands the purpose of why we ought to be critical in our thinking and why we ought to understand clearly why we need to have audits and to ensure that we are in compliance with the parameters that an auditor might be examining. Yes, you can go ahead.
Definitely, mentor. You know, you caused me to realize that sometimes it's not just fear of the unknown, but fear of the known that may cause some gray hairs to appear on heads. Um, but as it relates to the continuing education by both committee members and staff, the whole purpose of going to an event that is designed to pass on knowledge to us is to bring back that knowledge and impart it to the members of the committee, and by extension the staff, and by extension the members of the credit union. So when
Correct.
that is not being done, then it becomes what we would have said back in the day, an excursion. It becomes an excursion. It's an old word,
Well, you seem to be getting
but
problems, dear John.
it basically means that one would have just gone on a frolic.
John, you're breaking up. So if you want, I can jump in here, and by the time you get yourself organized, dear.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I
So
was just commenting on
go ahead.
the importance of bringing back something once you have gone
Yeah. Um,
Yes, Mr. Mentor. So,
you're breaking up, John. You're breaking
are you
up.
hearing me?
No, you're breaking up.
I
Your
noticed
net
the
seems
internet
to be.
is a bit.
Yes, I
Are
can
you hearing
see.
me clearly now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you
Okay,
clearly.
okay, good. So basically, we must bring back something once we would have gone to a continuing education session, and that's the point I believe that we wanted to make. And so, this committee of management, we are doing more remote learning, more taking on courses that are done online, and in fact, as part of our finance review, we noticed that we have saved a tremendous amount of money by taking that approach.
Yeah, very, very,
But
very significant
yeah,
sum of money.
definitely. And this is money that can
Um,
be used to
yeah,
benefit the members.
definitely for developmental training. As a matter of fact, um, I mentioned earlier that we have been receiving suggestions from the membership, from members of the committee of management, and from the employees. And these have informed the way we operate, the way we are operating, the suggestions and the ideas that are coming from them. They are heartening, they're encouraging. But I just want to turn to another aspect of our activities and commitment, and that is our intention to serve, to provide services to the previously underserved areas. Um, as late as 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago,
Definitely.
we were in Morocco. Morocco is in Region 1. I have oversight responsibility for Region 1. But we recognize that Morocco, which has a significant number of members, they were challenged. They were challenged in accessing the service. And Morocco doesn't have a bank. Mabaruma doesn't have a bank. And so what we did, we made all arrangements that Morocco should be served as far as practicable through Region 2, because Region 2 and Regina has a bank. And therefore, that I think is another manifestation of the care and concern that we have for our members' convenience, the care and concern for their convenience, because we recognize and we heard it that they felt that they were not, they probably felt neglected. And so we decided to put things in place. And another thing, I received something from a member from Kaitumo, right? And the member was, making queries. And as I said before, each member of this committee, of the Committee of Management, each member is responsive. And we respond to people, and we forward their queries, and we ensure that they get the feedback. And so we are targeting, if you will, underserved areas that we have not really previously made our physical presence seen and known.
Right. And to really be a countrywide organization serving every region as far as is practicable in Guyana, it is important that we continue to make those efforts. And in fact, Mr. Mentor, we are including the regional reps in this process. They are quite responsive as well. You were on a notice recently.
That's true. That's very true. As a matter of fact, they have been reaching out, asking for, let us say, for example, early savers membership application forms, which are open to minor relatives or minor children of members. This, to my mind, suggests that members understand the importance of their dependents or those who will come after of getting involved in things like credit unionism, right? They understand that, and that I think indicates quite clearly the uptake in recent times, that the importance has not been lost on them, and it is something that we welcome, and we will do our level best to ensure that every member is satisfied with the service we provide, with the interventions and the initiatives that we develop for their satisfaction.
Definitely. As we break new ground, as we would say, reaching out to underserved areas, improving the efficiency of how the organization functions, working on the competencies within the committee of the credit union as a financial institution. And so for us now, we have to continue listening to our members, hearing from the staff, because these are the people who will come up with strategy based on what they are seeing on the ground. And as they feed us with that information, we can take the appropriate action. So we have a responsive committee of management, we have a responsive staff complement, and we have responsive members. I think, Mr. Mentor, at this point in the evolution of this new committee of management, we are poised to provide our members with just what they were clamoring for years now.
Yeah, yes, certainly. And I think, I don't know, we're supposed to be here for 30 minutes. This is nearly up. And therefore, I'd like to take the opportunity to say to our members that things can only get better. We believe in them,
Definitely.
and we ask that they have confidence that we are on the right track, and that whatever we are doing, it is with the intention and it is with their best interest at heart. This is not intended to be a, a, vap, a spill of hot air. This is intended to reassure everyone, myself included, that we can only do better. And our better can only happen as long as our members support us and continue to support the credit union, because we understand the realities. The realities are that it is only when you help yourself that you get help really.
And certainly, Mr. Mentor, you couldn't have said it better. We, as the Committee of Management of the Public Service Cooperative Credit Union and staff of the Cooperative Credit Union, are here to serve our members. And I believe that if we gauge our activities so far based on the response of the members, I think we are heading in the right direction. We can only get better as we go forward. And I want to conclude by telling our members that even if you come and you do not receive exactly what you want, our aim and our determination is that you must not leave with nothing. You must leave with something. And do not hesitate to talk to us, reach out to us. We are accessible. Our numbers are on the various social media sites. And so we're asking that you continue to work with us as we work with you. People helping people. That's our motto. Any concluding words, Mr.
Yeah.
Mentor?
No, John, I don't think I can top that. So I just want to endorse what you've said. We're here to ensure that no one is torn away, that no one leaves dissatisfied. Everyone, we intend that our membership must be a satisfied membership, an involved, invested, and informed membership. That's it for me. Thanks, John.
Excellent. And a good night to all of our members. Good night to the staff of the credit union. And a good night to you, Mr. Mentor. It was nice sharing this moment with you.
Yes.
Have a very good night.
Thank you, John. Have a good night too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Smallness is a good time. Remember some little children. I'm in the singing and the dancing, I just really admire them. Smallness is still on their mind. Smallness is a good time. Remember some little children. I'm in the singing and the dancing, I just really admire them. Yes, they're singing. Ching, 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 ching. In a bar. See for mama.